How's it going, folks, and welcome back to part 2 of the perfect player in FM22. If you missed part 1, I'll have it linked to the top of the description. Today, we continue on our adventure with Mr. Perfect. He has 20 in everything, and before we do that, we gotta roll the intro. So yes, folks, we are back, and I join you 1 year after we left things last time. The year is 2028. Mr. Perfect was due to have, well, his contract ran out in the near future when we left things. Unfortunately, just last month, he has signed a brand spanking new 5-year deal at PSG on £425,000 a week. He has over £10 million in a loyalty bonus, and he's also got an optional 1-year extension. Yeah, they really have thrown the ultimate contract at him. You might be wondering, how's he done in this most recent season? Well, if we look at things here, he got 26 goals, 22 assists, 16 player of the matches, and an 8.16 rating. He had his best season ever. So I suppose the natural question is, did PSG get the perfect season? The answer, no, they did not. Of course, last time, in his first season at the club, 1 draw, 1 defeat. This year, 4 draws, 1 defeat. They are actually getting worse with Mr. Perfect at the helm. And as for the inevitable question, did they win the Champions League? No, they were knocked out by Manchester United in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. They did win a French Cup, for what it's worth, though. Sorry, Lyon. In the milestones, you can see he won a whole host of awards, the European Golden Tube, the Best Player in Europe award, and just various other bits and pieces, somewhat predictably. Of course, now he is age 23. Today we are going to be going forward probably 7 to 10 years. We'll see where his career takes him. I think for this next intermission, we will come back in 3 seasons' time. How will he be doing? He'll be halfway through his current deal if you include the optional extension. I'm now really interested to see, is he just going to live in Paris forever, or will we see him move elsewhere? I mean, there's not going to be that many teams that can afford him at this point, I imagine. Sorry, I've loaded up the save game where I holiday forward, and this is the item in my inbox. Steven Gerrard has become Fortuna Dusseldorf manager, aged 50. You know what? I'm not going to ask any questions. Let's go find Mr. Perfect. And we'll find him, we most certainly have. He is 26 years old. He has got the personality now of born leader, which is bizarre because nothing's actually changed when it comes to his attributes. He's always been a born leader. It's just now the world is starting to recognise that about him. A value of 84 to £251 million, 83 caps, but the real question is, how have the last 3 seasons gone for him? And well, looking at things here, after that 26-goal season, a bit of a disappointing one. He followed it up with 16 goals, 15 assists in the league, 8 player of the matches. The year after that, 23 goals, 7 assists, 7 player of the matches, and then most recently back into double figures with the assists, 21 goals, 13 assists, 8 player of the matches. Predictably, he's doing quite well, and predictably, so are PSG. They've won the league the last few years. I know someone's going to ask, Jack, did they go unbeaten any of these years? Well, most recently, they did go unbeaten. Did they go unbeaten any of the other years, though? I'm curious to find out. Okay, they've not lost in the last 2 years in the league, and the year before that, they actually lost 3 matches but didn't draw any. So, they're quite good, PSG, it turns out. But as much as they might be quite good, I want to see if he's won a Champions League. Looking at things in 28-29, they lost to Man City 4-1. They did win the French Cup again against Lyon. They just like bullying Lyon. The next season, did they win the Champions League? No, they were knocked out by Manchester United in the first knockout round. They won the French Cup again. And then in the season that's just gone, did they make it any further? They lost to, well, Zebra. They've lost to Juventus. Mr. Perfect has lost against his former club, and he did not score in either of the games as they lost 2-1 on aggregate. Also, they won the French Cup again. Is the French Cup just PSG's? The answer is yes. Yes, they've won it the last 6 years. So at club level, things are going pretty good for Mr. Perfect. He's not been taught any new positions, and he is still on the contract from before. Is that the contract from before? It is. They've already triggered the optional 1-year extension he had in that contract he signed back in 2028. We should have a look at how Gibraltar are doing, really, shouldn't we? We are 4 years into today's episode. Gibraltar, what have you managed over the last 4 years? Let's take a gander. So, in the European League, I think they got promoted out of Group C. That looks pretty promising form. They did quite well. They won 3 out of 6 games. So, I mean, it's a 50% win rate, which for Gibraltar is very good. World Cup qualifying hasn't quite gone to plan. They did beat Switzerland at home, though. So that's pretty historic as far as wins go. Apparently, TJ DeBar was the man who scored for them in this one. He's okay, I guess. I mean, I'm surprised he's got a hat-trick against Switzerland. So it turns out they didn't get promoted in the Nations League. And then this most recent showing, not quite as good. They won 1 game. The good news is Hungary didn't win any. So they have actually stayed up by virtue of the fact that Hungary aren't very good. And I believe they're midway through their Euro qualifying campaign. They've won 1 of 4 games. They have a goal difference of -5. It feels unlikely, I think, they're going to make it to a major international tournament at this point. If you were wondering, though, Mr. Perfect is considered their top player. I mean, it would be a little bit mad if he wasn't, wouldn't it? Just having a quick look at his personal information, you can see here his favourite clubs are Juventus and PSG, despite the fact that he was a traitor to Juventus after a few years. Manchester 62 also in his favourite club. It's kind of like he just gets attached to everyone he encounters. Pochettino is a favourite personnel, Guardiola as well, and his short-term plans, excited at his team's chances in the Champions League. Let's be honest, so far, I mean, PSG haven't won a Champions League yet. Maybe he's the man to bring it to them. The year is 2031 now. We need to go forward once more, and I think we'll go forward to 2029. 3 further years, he should have over 100 caps by then, maybe even 50 goals. Are PSG going to have won a Champions League? Where's he going to be? Let's go find out. For those of you worried he was just going to stay at PSG forever, he's moved to the other dark side, the other baddies of the footballing world. He's now a Man City player. His bravery has also dropped to 19, despite the fact it's a tribute to Frozen, which I assume is because he's got an injury at some point, and the injuries kind of overwrite it. It was probably a broken toe. Yeah, he broke his toe and he's just never been the same again. I should point out now, I think that's going to stay at 19 forever. So for those of you who enjoyed the 20 and everything, sorry. Okay, broken toes aside, we should probably look at the other stuff that's been going on here. He's hit 100 caps. He has got 50 goals. He moved to Man City. How much did he move for? 108 million. That's not as much as I thought he might have moved for. I mean, I've seen players move for 200 million in Football Manager. If any kind of man is going to demand that price tag, you would have thought it would be this guy. So in the last couple of years, he played for PSG for 2 years, then moved to Man City. First year in the Premier League. Actually has his lowest average rating in a long, long time in his first Premier League season. He's not adapted, kind of. I mean, he's got 19 goals and 6 assists. He kind of has adapted. Before we look at his first season at Man City, just to look at how PSG got on with him. They got knocked out in the first round of the Champions League again, and then didn't even win the French Cup. Did they get knocked out? They got knocked out to Monaco. And then in his last year at PSG, his swan song, in my head, he's won the Champions League here. He achieved what he set out to do, and then he rode off into the sunset to go and play for Man City. Is that what happened? It is what happened. They beat, as you can see here, Barcelona on penalties in the Champions League final. Mr. Perfect playing centre mid alongside Yusuf Demir, of all men, and he scored. He scored from the penalty spot. He took the first penalty, he scored it, and despite Hakimi bottling it, PSG did go on to win the Champions League, and with that, they let him run free. Interesting to note that they beat Man City 6-2 in order to make it to the final that year, where he did end up scoring. So naturally, I now want to know, how is he done at Man City? We can see his goals and assists are not too bad. Man City, just to give a bit of context here, they have been a bit hit and miss, actually. It looks like they have won the league most recently. They won it last year and this year, so back-to-back years, with Carlo Ancelotti as their manager, age 75. He's managing late into his career. Who am I to judge? You can see they've got Ruben Dias, Erling Haaland, and then Mr. Perfect, who's not yet been given the captain's armband. You would feel like it's a matter of time. In terms of this season, how did Man City get on in the Champions League? They won it. I mean, that's kind of a bit sadly predictable, isn't it? They beat, as you can see here, Manchester United in the final. Mr. Perfect got an assist. I mean, fair play to him. A 7.6 rating. That is I mean, the goalkeeper's got the highest rating. I was going to say 7.6 doesn't seem that high. Actually, compared to all the players around him, that is still a pretty good rating. So he's won the Champions League back-to-back years with different clubs. He also won the Carabao Cup, for what it's worth, and of course, the Premier League. Didn't really acknowledge it. He keeps winning Liga, if you were wondering how he did in his twilight years at PSG. In terms of career landmarks, you can see here he broke the Man City record for player of the matches in a season this year, and he also broke the record for the highest average rating. He set the record for European qualifying section player of the matches with 5, and also Gibraltar's record for player of the matches awards in a game, and the French transfer record, and broke the PSG all-time most league goals record before he left the club. He really did get a fairy tale ending to his life at PSG. For some reason in my head, I assumed the record would be more than 140 goals. I mean, fair play to him. And when it comes to the awards, well, he didn't win Best Player in Europe every year. Yes, Jordan Perez, who is a Spanish youngster who is actually nutty. He is bonkers, isn't he? He's very good. He actually beat Mr. Perfect to the Best Player in Europe award. In terms of the world awards, the ones that really matter, well, in the goal 50, he's quite good. Perez finished runner-up this year just gone. Aquino, who is another regen at Man City this time, he came third place. So Man City, between Aquino, Mr. Perfect and Haaland, I think probably have quite a good team. In terms of World Footballer of the Year, Mr. Perfect's won it every year. In terms of the World Golden Ball, which is the Ballon d'Or, he's also won that every year for the past 8 years. I mean, could he get 10 in a row? That'd be quite impressive. I mean, he's putting Messi and Ronaldo to shame at the moment, is Mr. Perfect, with just how well he is doing from centre mid. An 8.0 rating in 52 games. Not too shabby, I suppose. And just in case you were wondering at this point about the World Team of the Year overall for this save game, as we are now, 13 years in, he is in it at centre mid. 491 appearances, 292 goals, an average rating of 7.89. That is the best out of all the players. I mean, I'd be worried if it wasn't at this point. Okay, so Mr. Perfect's going pretty well. I think we will go forward 2 years to 2036 to round things off today. Next time out, we're going to have a look at how his career ends. I might also keep going into the future and see if he takes up a job in coaching. I don't know if I should make him the best coach possible if he does go into coaching, or if I should, well, just kind of leave him as he is and he can be a really crappy coach. Let me know what you think we should do if indeed he does become a coach. Be a bit sad if he didn't at this point. Anyway, we'll go and see if he sticks it out at Man City for 2 more years. He's going to be 31. He's not going to be declining. He's going to still be earning a boatload of money. Let's see if he made it 10 Ballon d'Ors in a row, shall we? I'm not sure why I proposed the question. Will he have 10 Ballon d'Ors in a row? Of course he bloody has. He's won it the last 2 years. Sorry, Jordan Perez. You're good. You're not as good as Mr. Perfect. He's still got 19 bravery. And, well, he's still at Man City. In the last 2 years, he's done rather well too. For some reason, the fee that he got from Man City to PSG has actually gone up. I guess there were some optional clauses that he's now triggered. So, yeah, the true fee is being revealed. 133 million. In terms of the last 2 years, 15 goals and 12 assists is kind of tame. The season just gone, though. 28 goals, 11 assists, 13 player of the matches. He averaged over a goal contribution every single game. Highest average rating in the league. Most goals in the league. Didn't get in the most assists, though. Take that. Justin Hayward leading the way there. He looks like the regen of Trent Alexander-Arnold, getting that many assists as a right back. But no, Mr. Perfect's been absolutely insane. You can see as well here, 13 player of the matches, but Man City didn't win the league. That's right. Despite having Mr. Perfect, they did win the league for a 3rd year in a row, to be fair, last season. But this year, they've choked it, they've bottled it. I mean, 82 points is still a good points total, but not enough to win them the title. And Mauricio Pochettino, who was the PSG manager, became the Man City manager. That's right, the man who, I want to say, developed Mr. Perfect. He didn't develop him, he just used him at PSG for a little while. He has moved over to Man City and now gets reunited with his man. I'm curious, actually, to look at Pochettino here. Oh, God, he has so many friends. Is Mr. Perfect in here? Why does he have so many friends? This makes me feel lonely. Anyone else feeling that? I mean, if Mr. Perfect's here, I can't spot him. I don't think... Is he... Should we go... Maybe Mr. Perfect has less friends. Okay, Mr. Perfect does have Pochettino and his friends. I hope that's not a one-way relationship. Otherwise, that is quite sad. You can see he is now a Manchester City favoured club person. I'm saying that like he's one of Manchester City's favourites. No, Man City are one of his favourites. It's hopefully a two-way relationship. Is he considered a legend yet or an icon? He is considered an icon alongside Mika Richards. Make of that what you will. As for Man City over the last couple of years, did they retain the Champions League? They didn't. They lost in the final to Bayern Munich last season. Perez, the Spanish forward we looked at, got 2 goals in the final. Mr. Perfect put in a respectable performance with a 7.2, but they only had 1 shot on target all game. Looks like it was quite a cagey final. Was there any kind of redemption, though, in 2036 when it came to the Champions League? The answer is no. They were knocked out by Barcelona, so a really disappointing season with Pochettino as manager. They didn't win the league. They did win the FA Cup final against Newcastle, which I guess is something. Mr. Perfect scored the opening goal in it, and, they lost to Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Surprised they got knocked out as early as that. I didn't spot this earlier. I wish I had done. Mr. Perfect turned his back on Gibraltar. He retired from international football 5 months ago. In his early 30s, he said, that's it. That's me done. And, Gibraltar have been left without him. Their new top player is Paul Dawson, who, I mean, he's just not as good as Mr. Perfect, is he? And looking at things here, it looks like he decided to retire after a 3-0 defeat against England in a European Championship qualifying group where... I want to say they got close to qualifying. I mean, the reality is they finished 10 points behind Scotland, but it was respectable. They finished ahead of Estonia and the Faroe Islands. But yeah, Mr. Perfect decided he had had enough. In terms of World Cup qualifying, I mean, they won a few games one year. Didn't actually qualify for the World Cup proper, sadly. And as you can look at things as we flick through the stuff here, they just didn't ever qualify for anything. They were in the Nations League. They got to Division C. And yeah, Gibraltar was still kind of a failure. I mean, their world ranking is 122nd, which isn't that bad, but I have a sneaking suspicion that is going to tumble now. I wanted to see them at least make it to a Euros or something where we could follow Mr. Perfect, but on his own, he wasn't able to carry. Maybe it was the 19 bravery that let them down in the end. Ultimately, however, he's at Man City now, and I'm curious to see how long he's going to stay here at Man City. He's got 2 further years on his contract. Of course, just as a reminder, he won't decline as a player, so it is going to be interesting to see what becomes of him over the next few years. As I mentioned earlier, let me know what you think we should do about when he retires. Would you like me to make him into the perfect coach and we follow him on in that walk of life, or should we let him be a rubbish coach? Or I guess he might just end up retiring and not becoming a coach at all, in which case this is all in vain. I've seen a load of comments saying, Jack, make the perfect manager at a non-league club. So if he retires, maybe we'll do that as the next video in these kind of FM Simulate experiment stuff. I will say now, if you've got your own idea for something that we should do in Football Manager, a little bit like this, let me know your ideas down in the comments. It's been really cool. There's been loads of new people discovering the channel recently, checking out all the videos, giving your own suggestions. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying it. If you're here and you've not yet seen our Erling Haaland at a non-league club video, I recommend going and checking that out. It was a really good laugh. On the off chance that maybe you've stumbled on in here and you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Part 3 of The Perfect Player will be coming your way soon. And well, until next time, it is me, Jack. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.